Nicolas Hulscher, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming on to discuss this.
Thanks for having me.
Your initial thoughts, Nick. I don't want to colour this conversation. I want to hear directly from you. How do you feel about this announcement yesterday?
I'm very, very angry and very disappointed that we were backstabbed by Albert Bourla and the Trump administration by inking this $70 million deal to expand the mRNA empire of the criminal enterprise Pfizer. Remember what Pfizer has done in the past. They've had to pay up to 107 instances for criminal penalties and other sorts of fraudulent activities, right? So they have a long track record of criminal activity, of lying to the public, of all sorts of terrible things. And so this is just a slap in the face to the entire MAHA initiative. We do not want to see Albert Bourla in there shaking hands with President Trump. We were expecting accountability. We have not seen any of that. Now it appears accountability is completely off of the table.
That's certainly how it seems. RFK Jr. was in that room yesterday, albeit I have to say a couple of stills that I saw of him, he didn't look overly impressed. But at the end of the day, as HHS secretary, he's going to be involved in Trump RX and some of these pharmaceuticals that are being recommended to Americans. Pfizer, Trump made a joke about Paxlovid. Side effects involved in that as well. But it's Pfizer. So I'm not really sure where to go from here, Nick, because it seems like the illusion of MAHA is completely over.
Yeah, that illusion appears to be now collapsing into a black hole, right? Because we know that the Pfizer mRNA shots, based on a study by Florida Surgeon General Joe Ladapo and MIT's Retzef Levi, now on the ACIP panel, they found a 36% increase in non-COVID all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients compared to Moderna recipients. So we know, just based on that and extrapolating that to the population and how many received Pfizer, that there's been at least 470,000 American deaths in the first year alone directly due to these Pfizer injections. So this has been a catastrophe. It has murdered more people than world wars. I mean, this is crazy. And now we're shaking hands with this man. This is horrible. This is a bad situation. I don't see really anybody at this point supporting it other than those who might be receiving money from the government to act as spokespersons.
I'm just searching your X right now as we're talking. This post from 15 hours ago at the time of this recording. 8.7 million people, 2 landmark studies. mRNA vaccines increase your risk of 7 types of cancer: breast, bladder, lung, prostate, thyroid, gastric, and colorectal cancers. All surge after vaccination. Operation Warp Speed unleashed a turbo cancer epidemic, and no doubt a huge portion of those injections were Pfizer. The problem isn't just Pfizer, of course, it's the shots as a whole, but as you mentioned, Pfizer had worse effects on the population than even Moderna. And how can we stand here and say that Albert Bourla did such a great job when these are the results? Let me just play devil's advocate. Is it at all in any way, shape, or form possible that President Trump doesn't know about these effects?
I think he knows about these effects. I'm almost positive it's been communicated to him many, many times. But now it appears he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. And yeah, those 2 studies were absolutely huge. They came out in the past few months. One of them came out 2 months ago out of Italy. 300,000 Italians followed them for 30 months. Yeah, increased risk of multiple cancers: bladder, colorectal, breast, all types of cancers. And then we have this new study came out, South Korea, over 8 million people, followed them for a year. And the vaccinated individuals suffered over 6 different types of increased risks of cancers, including lung, breast, colorectal, gastric, thyroid, right? All cancers are being increased. yes, this program, this mRNA debacle has unleashed cancer among America's children, little babies, right? And the adults, the older population, we're now suffering as a result of this. There should be accountability, not protection of any of these criminal enterprises.
Well, it's beyond protection. It's a reward of a $70 billion contract. It's not just protection. We're actually rewarding this behavior now. I'm not sure how we can talk about accountability for anyone else when we're doing that over here with Pfizer. You mentioned cancer, children and cancer. Yesterday, President Trump also signed an executive order on pediatric cancer, which unleashes AI to create a database of genetic information from children with cancer. The AI czar David Sachs says we're going to get some miraculous cures out of this. And my comment on that was a genetic database of children run by AI, and praise for Pfizer, all in one day, good grief. Now, people have challenged me on that, a couple of people saying if there was an AI cure for cancer for children, wouldn't you want to see that? My rebuttal is I don't believe that the same people, as in big tech and big pharma, who did this to us by way of mRNA injections causing cancer, are now suddenly interested in curing cancer. This to me seems like a way to get children on a genetic database, which, by the way, the WEF previously spoke about how if we get a genetic database of everyone, we can exclude them from certain areas of society if their genes aren't what we want them to be. Your thoughts on this as far as curing children's cancer with AI and a genetic database?
Yeah, this appears to be yet another scam of pushing gene-based products on innocent people. We know that it's a fraud already. We know it's resulted in millions of injuries and deaths. The very first gene-based product, the COVID shots, and then these ones they're talking about to cure pediatric cancer. These are also likely to be gene-based mRNA injections. They call them cancer vaccines in that Pfizer agreement. So that $70 million will be going to what they call cancer vaccines, to what they call chronic disease biologics, as well as obesity injections, right? So all that money is going to go towards that. And again, this is just another scam. If they really want to stop cancers from propagating and accelerating, maybe they should address the root cause of the experimental genetic product that was given to all of these children, right? They're just sweeping that under the rug now and bringing in their AI savior to come save the day. This is very, very disappointing.
Extremely disappointing. And just one other note on that, if you're talking about creating a genetic database of children, how long before that's mandatory in order to be considered a parent? Like how long before, if you don't, as a parent, give up your child's genetic information to AI, you're considered negligent because you're not potentially, helping to stop your child's cancer, and Child Protective Services comes and takes your child. I can definitely see that happening in future. We have CPS chasing parents for not injecting their children based on religious convictions. Why is that too far of a stretch?
Right. We are reaching a point where that will become reality, as well as many other very dystopian things, as AI begins to exponentially advance as each week and month goes by. All of those things will start to manifest into reality. Particularly what I'm concerned about is they will have artificial intelligence constructs, robotics replacing a vast majority of our workforce, right? So they don't care that we're now injured, dying of cancer, disabled, right? They don't care because they plan to replace all of us with artificial intelligence. And so I think that'll be one of the first very horrible things we see as this develops.
Where are the other companies other than Pfizer? Are you expecting them to come
later?
later?
They're all with us. And I was honored to have Albert be the first. He's done a fantastic job with, as you know, with the COVID. He did a fantastic job with a lot of things. He's a leader, and Pfizer is right at the top. It's there. Eli Lilly has been fantastic also, my friend. And they're all coming in over the next week. We're making deals with all of them.
Tom Renz, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you coming on at such short notice, but this is very important, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the most phenomenal and appalling actions that I can even imagine. I mean, this represents not just a blow, but a bomb going off with the MAHA Mega Alliance, and it's completely unnecessary, but totally predictable in light of the fact that you've got, a chief of staff that is still working at a company, as far as we all know, as a managing partner that has actually represented Pfizer as a lobbyist, and an AG who was literally working for Pfizer only a year or two ago.
Yeah, I think those prior concerns about conflicts of interest are clearly coming to fruition. And what I want to ask you, Tom, is you made a statement about this blowing up the MAHA alliance. And I've had some pushback on when I said the illusion of MAHA is officially over. People are saying, what does this have to do with RFK Jr.? And well, he's the HHS secretary. He's certainly not stopping it. So the point is, whether he agrees with this or not, MAHA, which is what RFK Jr. represents, has to go along with this. So MAHA is over. That's my view. What do you think about all of that?
Well, I am MAHA. I'm a part of MAHA, and I certainly don't go along with this, and I don't care who has to do what. It's an amazing thing for me to see. The cognitive dissonance that must exist for someone to tell me that there is a plan for accountability for Pfizer and people like Pfizer at this point is insane. There is no plan for accountability. We're moving forward. They are moving forward. There's a lot of plans, and Trump is doing a lot of great things in a lot of fronts. The Operation Warp Speed debacle is a debacle. We're still moving ahead with big pharma everywhere. There is no accountability. These people aren't going to jail. They aren't going to do anything. Yes, Pfizer Pam is going to put them in jail. She hasn't put a single other person in jail for anything. She hasn't done anything anywhere, but the company that she represented as an attorney is the one she's going to go after. Let's think about that. There's no plan, right? Now, Bobby is in a pretty incredible position on this. There's no question that Bobby's a good guy, and there's no question that Bobby is doing everything he can. But I've said for a long time, Bobby's on a short string. He can only do so much. And this is a case study. This is an incredibly disrespectful move. I mean, we have on one side, we have absolutely indisputable evidence that Pfizer has put out a product that they knew was contaminated with SV40, knew would cause cancer, and has continued to put it out and put it out and put it out. Not only did they put it out, but they did so while buying other companies so that they could treat cancer. This is unbelievable. They are literally making people sick, going to give people cancer, buying companies so they can profit off the cancer that they get. And we're out making deals with a company like this, saying, hey, you just bring your investment here. I want to say this, because for anybody saying, well, but what are we going to get rid of pharmaceuticals? No, I don't want to get rid of pharmaceuticals. I like ivermectin. I like antibiotics. There's a few of them out there that are okay. But you know what? There are a ton of pharmaceutical companies. There are a ton that are far more ethical than Pfizer.
Yeah.
I mean, Pfizer is literally the worst of the worst of the worst in an already terrible industry. So the idea that we're going to make a deal with, of all people, Pfizer, I mean, the leader, we gave them immunity, civil immunity, which is no one's even talking about rolling back, civil immunity for a product that is causing turbo cancer globally. It's going to come out. Listen, we're in the process. The news is coming out. Nick Hulscher, McCullough Foundation, all these guys that are actually doing real research. We see the correlation between these vaccines and turbo cancer is indisputable, and it's going to be proven causative. Trust me when I say, mark my words, I've been saying it for several years, we're going to eventually see absolute indisputable proof that this is integrating into DNA and modifying DNA in a permanent way. We are literally attacking the ability for humans to reproduce with this nonsense.
Sorry, Tom, I'll just pause you. We already have studies proving this, but do go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we know, but I'm saying that those studies are coming out. This will eventually be indisputable even by mainstream.
Yeah.
This will be mainstream known. This will be the most damaging thing to humanity in history. And yet we're making a deal with the people who are behind it. This is appalling on every single level. And for Trump, I mean, this is on the heels of Trump parading Bill Man Boobs Gates around like he's some sort of a hero. I mean, we've got just move after move after move. I mean, he still can't say that Operation Warp Speed was a disaster. Listen, Mr. President, I love you. I fought for you. I voted for you. I will continue to fight for you on most policies. Your Operation Warp Speed murdered more people planetarily than any other action since World War II. It is insane. It is insane. You were manipulated, you were lied to, and now your arrogance is preventing you from recognizing what actually happened. This is appalling to me. Don't tell me about Donald Trump's plan. I love what Donald Trump does in 90% of his presidency, but this 10% is so phenomenal and so important and such a big deal. And that it's not something, there's no free pass on this. There's no, we look the other way. There's no pretend that this doesn't happen. The millions of dead and dying deserve justice. And we're going to have to speak out ourselves. We, the people, are going to have to speak out if we want to see something done with this.